Welcome to Foxrock. This is like a moneyed part of Dublin, and when I say moneyed, I don't mean that, I mean houses. They're very fancy looking houses around here, but I thought it would suit the Renault Captur because the Renault Captur is actually quite a stylish looking car from the outside. It's quite dramatic, would be a good word for it. Typically with French car design, they tend to go all out with a new model. They tend to go way over the top when it comes to the actual design of the car. They don't just kind of refresh a model or, you know, give that family look to a car. They tend to just go a bit mental. Now this has a bit of family look, as we'll see with the Renault Zoe later on this year. When that comes, this does look a little bit like that around the front. The Renault Fluence starting to get as well. They've made that badge on the front much more prominent. It's a much bigger car entirely at the front, or looks that way. To put this into context, it kind of competes around Nissan Juke level. It'd be in that kind of size of car, so think of that. But it's actually it's bigger. It's bigger inside, definitely bigger in the back. Leg room and things in the back is much more extended than the Juke, but at the same time it still has the Renault feel about it. But Renault have done something, because the interior here feels quite luxury. I'm touching a sort of a leather touch steering wheel. The dashboard is made of a nice decent hard plastic. Not well, hard would probably be the wrong word. It's a nice decent sort of a plastic. It's not particularly hard, it's not particularly soft. The LG touchscreen radio, I think that might have sat-nav on it too somewhere if I press home there. Yes, it does. It has sat-nav, it has media, it has radio, maps, everything. There's plenty of kit in here. I quite like the interior. Even the design of the interior is quite nice. There's a natty little cubby hole up the top here for stuff at the top. But the engine in this, and the engine lineup that Renault seem to be wanting to put into it, is a 1.2 petrol. Now, there's plus and minus sides to that. The plus side is that the 1.2 is as old as the hills and will be going around the clock before anything happens to it. There's never been any problems with it. There's never been any trouble. It's also very economical. I've had it before in a Clio. I've even had it in a Megane at one point. So it's very economical. The downside is there's not much horsepower. Now, when I say not much horsepower, I really have my foot down to the floor here, and it's, you know, winding up, but it's getting there. Now, that means that this is really a city car. It's meant to get around the city, nip between shops, and, you know, go to places in Foxrock and enjoy yourself while you drive around looking at the peasants who are doing shopping in Aldi. That's really what these are for. Now, that means that this is for a market that is growing, and this segment is these kind of small crossover 4x4 feeling cars is a growing segment, and Renault hope to capture, there you are, there's a pun, there's the first pun of this, Renault hope to capture some of that market as much as they possibly can. It is very solid on the road. I kind of like that. It has a very solid feel, and it's very quiet within the cabin as well. There is some crossover materials between Dacia, Renault. You know, I've seen this LG in a Dacia. That's okay. Everyone's crossing over it these days. Bits and pieces cross over the whole time. But this feels as far removed from a Dacia as you can get. It does feel much more luxury. That points the way to the way Renault's going at the moment. They're starting to push forward and get into the kind of middle management market is what they're after at the moment, and they're hoping that the Dacia is going to take care of the budget segment. And I can understand why they're trying to do that, because both of those segments are moving and are growing. Yes, that's a good maneuver. I like this. This woman is doing a 17-point turn in a Volvo in the middle of the road. Now we're in Foxrock Village. And when I say village, there's a estate agents there. There's something over there, looks like a restaurant, and behind me there's a spa. That's it. You're done. That's all they need. They need no more. They need to serve their truffles. That's about as far as it gets. Back to the Captur. I'm going to capture some more now. It is overall, it is a good solid feeling car. I kind of like sitting behind the wheel of it. It's nice, but at the same time, I'd rather see a little bit more horsepower under the bonnet than this 1.2. It'll suit the city driver, a short journey driver. It actually makes the car a little bit more reasonably priced as well. But I think the 1.5 DCI engine that Renault put out is also a decent engine and is hugely economical and very reliable. And I'm sure actually it might be 1.6 now, because they're reboring that engine for some of the Nissan Qashqai stuff to make a 1.6 litre with higher horsepower and lower CO2. So they should be putting this into the Captur when it comes along. But this one currently I'm driving is a 1.2. The engine hasn't got much get up and go, but it seems pretty economical. It seems to do what it's supposed to do. It's fairly nippy off the line, but lacks horsepower to do any sort of serious overtaking if you're on a country back road. Traffic lights, my God, where did they come from? In Foxrock? Could these not be removed? Shouldn't be slacking off Foxrock. Torquay Road, in case you're wondering. Torquay's in England, but we call a road here in Ireland after it. The Captur seems okay. It really does. I do like it. I love the exterior styling. A little bit too much chrome, maybe, but that's the way the French cars tend to go. Usually do the same thing. So do Citroen, a lot of chrome on the outside. A little bit too much chrome on it, but besides that, it seems like a decent little offering from Renault, and it's nice to see that Renault are pushing ahead with fresh design, fresh everything when it comes to this Captur, and it points the way to the way Renault's going to be going in the near future. So check it out, your Renault dealers. You'll see it there. I'm sure they'll have it out the very front of the premises as much as possible, and you'll be able to see it in the showrooms right now. It's actually sitting in the showroom. So till the next time, see you on the far side.
Give